Fair. We'll do some examples on these also. Next comes the concept of class. Here we have seen data type and a variable. Same way, string s. Can you tell the analogy between this line and int a? Line number 80 and line number 89. What is the relation between a and int in line number 80?
A is a variable of the data int data type.
Int data type, right? Here s is a variable of type
String, and basically in line number 89 we're just defining it without any values,
yeah.
just
Here,
initializing the
yeah. Here
particular
also we
variable.
declared. Here also we are declaring, right?
Okay, okay.
S is also variable. A is also a variable. But
Right.
when S is a variable whose type is a class, here the type was a primitive data type. Int, floor, int, double, char, boolean. These are called primitive data types, inbuilt data types of the language. Classes are newly created data types. These types are created using primitive data types. So you can say these are the raw material and this is the fully baked product. This is like something which gives us a high level service that we can directly consume. So that is one distinction, that when we have a variable whose type is class, we say, okay, this is not a variable, S is an object because its data type is a class. Otherwise, in our mind, we'll just have the same image. Okay, here A was a variable, here S is a variable. Treat it in the same way. But keep the differences in mind. One difference you have seen, S is an object because its data type is a class. And classes are typically called, class is a UDT. It's called user defined data type, not primitive data type. And in Java there is a support, we can create our own classes also, and that is what we will do going forward. Each test case that we write is our own class or our own function. We'll talk about all that. So classes are something that we can create, but we can't create any primitive data type for Java on our own. So primitive data types are fixed, classes are extensible, we can create our own classes. Fine. One more difference and last difference is classes. Yeah.
Sandeep,
Yeah,
you
please.
have mentioned class is a user-defined data type,
Yes.
but like it is not always be the case, right? Because we have some system-defined classes too. So is it always true? Class is a
Okay.
user-defined data type.
Yeah, great question. So basically, in Java, whatever classes you see, they have been created by the creators of Java, right?
Mm-hmm.
Internally, they have used the primitive data types. You agree?
Yes.
So this is the extension to Java. And in Java, like every new release of Java, you will see some more classes have been added to Java. For us as a consumer, we say, yeah, these are system-defined data classes because Java developers have written, not us. But they are also kind of users of the language.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yes.
So we are saying language provides you support, and using that support,
Mm-hmm.
like in typical business, I gave you an example earlier of a guy who fixes the puncture, right?
Mm-hmm.
For you, if you are getting the puncture fixed from that guy, you know that, okay, you can go to the shop and you get it fixed. For you, that thing is a system defined utility, that, oh, puncture wala we find everywhere, so mostly like they are part of the society, they are provided to us. But that guy also gets the raw material from somewhere and he just makes the service on top of it, right? So puncture wala is a user defined data type. Someone created that designation, created that role, created that business role, and then we start consuming it. So when we say user defined data type, it doesn't mean that only we, whatever we can write is a user defined data type. Any developer in Java,
Okay.
Selenium people also have written their own classes. We say, oh, those classes are also user defined data types. They were not part of the language, primitive part of the language.
Mm-hmm.
Fair?
Okay.
Yeah. And one more thing, since you asked this question, in Java we say Java is essentially Java plus class library. Whatever classes come with Java, they are treated as class library of Java. They are written so that the common things that people have, they are provided already with the language. Make sense?
Yeah, some of it, not exactly. Yeah, but as we'll go on, it will make more sense.
Okay, the point was that Java developer also creates some data types for us, and those data types that Java developers have created so that people who are using Java find it convenient. Since these classes were created by those users, the early developers, we call them user-defined data types.
Okay. So I just got confused with the user defined, like,
Okay.
because user in the sense like I am creating it, so it will be my class. So in that way I got confused.
Okay, okay.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, no issues. Fine. Now one more difference which is very, very important is that with primitive data types, with inbuilt data types, we use operators. Like two integers are there, we can add them, we can subtract them. But with objects, typically what we do is we use functions. So if string is there, I want to know how many characters are there in the string. So let's say if string was test. How many characters are there in test?
4.
4. If I want to know how many characters are there in the string, we typically call a function. We say s dot length, and the value that it will return is an integer to us. So this is calling a function. That's the difference between an object. On object we call the functions like this, and on primitive data type we do not call the function. We don't say a dot length or a dot something. A dot is an illegal operation because that's a primitive data type, and primitive data types do not define the functions. Fine. So mostly you will see we will be using classes. In tomorrow's class we'll talk about some more classes, but in today's class we want to wind up the concept of a function, what a function is,